Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Saturday, the 1st of July. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, it's a Saturday night upload. No, Friday night upload. Get this. Oh, it's not even that late for me. Right, it's a Friday night upload for Saturday selections because I'm out and about most of the day tomorrow. And there's not loads tomorrow. It's not a busy Saturday. Friday there was more going on, so we are uploading early. Freebets.com video will be out on YouTube, usual sort of time, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, with the ones that are focused more on the television. For Saturday, for the regular channel, we've got a £20 day. It is 4 bets. It's a Yankee, 2 lucky 15s and a combination double. There's nothing in the evening. I didn't like anything at Lingfield or Doncaster. So I think our last race is 5:40. First race on the channel is 1:15, Newmarket. But yeah, overall, outside the Northumberland Plate, which is a good, really, really good race, and the meeting at the Curragh, there's a few interesting races there. It's really poor, really, really poor. So as far as Sunday goes, there definitely won't be a video on Saturday night. Because I'm out, and then Sunday the race, there's some quite good racing at the Curragh, and there's some stuff on the television. I think it's Newcastle and Cartmel, some jump stuff that looks actually quite competitive. So I will say is I will do my best. If there is a video for Sunday selections, it is much more likely to be a late upload, like circa 12, 1 o'clock, something like that, I would imagine. It may be I just put some stuff in the comments of this video if there's a couple of horses, but if I'm in a place where I can do a video, I will do a video. But I'm sure most people can understand I'm going out on Saturday, and if I can't do a video, I can't do a video. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't live my life out on the lash. It's a rarity. Most of the time, I drink non-alcoholic beer and a non-alcoholic cider. But yeah. Saturday's a rarity. So, that's that. And then as far as this video goes, well, what I'm going to say, because we've reached the end of June, which is the halfway point of the year. So once I've done the recap of Friday and I've done Saturday's bets, for those that want and are interested in statistics, I'm going to go through some of the stats for where we're up to for the last month, 6 months, 18 months, and kind of just give a bit of a breakdown of that. So I'll go through some stats at the end. All right, as far as Friday goes, it was a funny day. Like the channel scraped a profit, but I just felt frustrated, to be honest. Just really frustrating. Just for there's a few reasons. It was a bit on those ones where there was horses in different places in the staking plan. So we had a couple of winners, but we didn't put them together. This morning, when I did the video, I was trying to do 100 different things at the same time, and there was a bit of a lag from me putting the bets on to actually trying to get a video done quickly. And because of that, a couple of prices went in. And one of them, annoyingly, was Muddy Lynn. So early doors Muddy Lynn on Friday morning was 25 to 1 across the board, really solid. And then it ended up going right short. So what I've done for the channel stats is taken 11 to 1 on that one. It SP'd, I think it was 15 to 2. But yeah, I know no one else got the price. It's the second time that's happened. It really gets on my wick because it's just like it's the matter of half an hour, and it made a difference. And I'm not, just be super clear, I'm not asked about the stats for the channel. It's about actually when you've got something like that, catching it before it goes in so that other people can benefit. That's why it's frustrating. So yeah, there was a couple of winners that shortened up. There was bits in other places. There was a few bits of return that only counted for Sky or Unibet or 365 today. All of that added up. And then there was one horse in the 210 Doncaster that I missed, and I was just really gutted about it, and it really knocked me off all afternoon. So the 210 Doncaster, we had Foreseeable Future that went from the front and faded, and the race was won by a horse called Golden Duke, 33 to 1. And end of the day, there'll be other winners. It really did my nut in because I went and looked, because I always look at the big price winners, and I followed that horse for a while, and I just honestly couldn't tell you. Maybe I was just having a tired moment when I looked at the race, on Thursday night. I don't understand why I didn't put it in, because all day long that was my sort of horse. If you look at the form, that horse had run 2 times this year, one on unsuitable ground, but hadn't run well at all. Look at last year. First 2 times it ran rubbish. Third time kicked in, framed at a decent price, and then went on and did 5 more decent, consistent races through the summer. That's what that horse will do. It did it last year, and it was going to do it again this year. And I think the thing that put me off, and it's something I've never talked about on the channel before, and it impacts when you do selections the night before. So for what I did for Friday selections, most of them were from a research I did the night before. Some I did it in the morning. And with that Doncaster race, I'd done it the night before. And the thing that put me off, I think, as I recall, is because that horse is owned by one of these, what's the word? Syndicates that is made up of hundreds, thousands of people, where you buy 0.5% of a horse. And you have to watch for these the night before. And this is a very minute point, but this is the detail that I look at sometimes that I just don't talk to you about. Night before, you want to avoid a syndicate horse like that. And I don't mean syndicate horses that are owned by 6 people or 10 people, but syndicate horses that are owned by hundreds of people. When you've got a syndicate horse that's owned by hundreds of people, generally what you find is when the market opens, those people who've got a share go, oh, my horse is running, I've got a tiny amount of pence, I'm going to go shove it on. And when it all adds up, you find that the prices shorten the night before quite quickly on large syndicate horses. And that price last night, I remember thinking, oh, it's gone to 16 to 1. And it was bugging me. It was, I mean, you could have got 40s before the off on that race, I think. But yeah, SP'd at 33s, and yeah, it had the best form in the race, and I'm just good. Anyway, long-winded way of saying, but hopefully a possibly interesting point there. That yeah, just be very careful of. And the thing is, you have to know. You have to, once you've done it a while, you get to understand which syndicates are these ones that where lots of people can own. But it's always the same. When the market opens, those ones contract quite quickly in price because the people that have got a tiny share go and put their money on early doors. And then what you find is in the daytime, on the day of the racing, the price of the horse bounces back up again. Because those sorts of horses invariably aren't there to kind of with insider knowledge where a couple of people are trying to put wedges of cash down. Those are there for people to have a bit of an interest. So, anywho, let me skip through. So, in the bets, I didn't obviously write it all out, but we had a few bits of places. We had Hostelry Place, that was in a bunch finish. We had Fine Wine Place, that was third. We had Muddy Lynn, 1. 20s I had on the channel, but I recorded it as 11s. It was Bet Free that did the damage, but that only counted if you were Sky or Unibet, because the 540 Chester Dolly Gray was 4th. It only paid out for those 2. Then the last 2 legs of that, Rosoni was 2nd of 7, so that paid out. That drifted to 11, so hopefully some got a better price. And then Astapor, that was 2nd, so we had 2 seconds finishing off that Chester bet. SP'd at 11s and 16s. The channel had it at 6 and 33s with a 10p rule 4, so that's the equivalent of 29.7 to 1 for those who want it. And then in the Curragh, we had Kodiak Prince that went and won, and it was in 2 different bets, and it counted for Zippo, which is always annoying. It wasn't a huge price in the end. It went off 11 to 2. The channel had it 11 to 1 on one bet and 12 on the others, I think, but it didn't matter because we didn't get anything back. And then Bet 7, there was a combination double that paid out for Sky and 365, as long as you put the bet on before the non-runner. So Gloucestershire was 4th, 365 paid that out before the non-runner, and then Muddy Lynn. So it depends on what prices you got there. But Gloucestershire did SP, I think, 28s in the end. So 30 on, 35, 52 back. That is how we finished Friday. So I'll go through Saturday's bets and then I'll do the stats. So Saturday's bets, starting off with a Yankee. I was trying to fit in a bit of stake and move it around. So I know these aren't the shortest prices for a Yankee. I usually do that on slightly shorter, but yeah, I had quite a bit of moving about horses, and this is where I've come to. So 115 Newmarket, Phantom Flight, 13 to 2. It's a 5-runner race. It's not a race most people are looking at, but quarter of the odds, 13 to 2. I think that's worth it. That's the most solid horse in that race. The 2 ahead of it haven't run this season. and so there's going to be a question mark on it. That horse has got weight allowance and it's been in form, so I just think it's overpriced. In the chance of it, it's if you just said they were all flat stake, 40% chance of coming in the front two. I'd say there probably is a 40% chance of it coming in the top two, and therefore, on balance, 13-2 quarterly odds made it slightly preferable. So I've put that in. Then 205 Newcastle, which is the Northumberland Plate. There is something in all four bets in a Northumberland Plate. So that is our main race, 100% of the day, 205. So we've got Call in the Wind, 14. We backed it at Ascot. And then 250, the Curragh, Ice Cold and Alex. It's not the best betting market the night before that race at all. I think 365 are generally preferable across the board in that race. I'm happy it's gone back to 10s. It drifted in, it shortened into 8s at one point on Sky, and I was debating, but 10s I'm happier with. And in the 435 Curragh Pashmina 11s, it's a 20p each way Yankee. If you want to cover those with singles, then that's absolutely fine. For the channel stake, it is Yankee. So each way doubles, trebles, and a fourfold. Sky are best because Sky are 7 on the 205. That's standard terms. Sky are 5 on both of those, and everyone else is 4. So on that 205, Sky, as I said, are 7. 365 Paddy are 6, and you'll get Bog in the morning. And then Betfair and Hills are also 6. You won't get Bog unless you're doing singles on those. So it's Sky best, 365 Paddy next best, Betfair Hills second best. 440 is your bet for bet 1. Then my main bet of the day. This is my main bet of the day. That's where most of the stake is going down, is this. 130 Newcastle, World Without Love, 25-1. That is a good price. 205 Newcastle, Matchless, 66-1. That is a good price, a particularly good price. 435 the Curragh. You can get 80s on Paddy if you look around. 435 the Curragh, Roman Bull, 18s. And the 540, I think Sky might be slightly stand out. It's a great price, that first man, 20-1. So I've put my what I believe my 4 best together in this bet. I know some people wish I did that all the time. Sometimes I do and I don't even say I do. But these are my 4 best. I've said it now, they'll go and get turned over. But that's the best I've got for Saturday. 20p each way, lucky 15 on all 4. We've got a 30p each way double on World Without Love and First Man. 30p each way double on those 2. I've got a 30p each way single. The colours haven't come out very well, I don't think. 30p each way single on Matchless 66s. Sky best, then 365 or Paddy. If you were betting the night before, Paddy are better on prices because Paddy are a better price here. 365 are only 10s the night before on that. So Paddy is better there. Same there and same there. And then Paddy's better on that one as well. And then Hills are 4th best. 720 is your bet. Bet 2. Bet 3. I've just realised I haven't written the prices on Bet 3. Absolute amateur hour here. Right, hang on. I know what they are. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll just just have a sip of your tea or whatever it is you're doing, and let me get those right. Okay, right. Bet 3. You wouldn't have even known there was a problem there, would you? But yeah, the prices on there are now there. 205 Newcastle. Berkshire Rocco is my other horse in the Northumberland Plate. 28s. 325. We backed it at Ascot. This time it's run Curragh. It was a non-runner at Ascot. Hopefully it runs today. Comragh at 18s. And then 2 races with no extra places with anyone except Unibet. So 350 Newcastle, Ince Girl 10s, and 505 Windsor Glamorous Breeze at 12s. So only Unibet are paying 4 on those races. No one else is. You've got Sky paying 7 here, as we talked about. Quite a few are 6, and this one Sky the only one's on 4. So Sky or Unibet, because Sky you're getting an extra place there. Unibet, you're getting an extra place there. And if you haven't got either of those, 365 or Paddy are next best. £6 is your bet. That is bet 3. And then my combo double bet to finish. So in total, we have got 12 horses, 9 races. That's all it is for Saturday. I've put the best race with these 2. That was the only race I had. I had 2 with double figures. So there's some slightly better other races you could put there if you were betting blind. But that was the one where I've got 2 at double figures. So 205 Newcastle, Matchless, Berkshire Rocco, Call in the Wind, going on to the 435 Curragh, Roman Bull and Pashmina. 6 times 20p each way doubles, 240 as your bet. Sky Our Best, then bet the 365 and Paddy, and then Betfair or Hills. That is that. All right. Quick mention on the golf. Should do that as well. So anyone who's on the golf, we got Richie and Sorday were terrible, so they're out. So in the side bet, we've got 2 going into the weekend. So we've got Sebastian Garcia Rodriguez. That he's one of only 5 Spanish players making the cut, so we need top 3, ideally the top player. But he was doing amazing on round 1. He had a mare on round 2, hit 5 over for the day, but managed to scrape 1 ahead of the cut line. So 5 Spanish players is in, and then the other one is Norlander over in the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I'll just say it correctly today. Who's made it in? There's quite a few. I can't remember. I think it was about 8 continental Europeans have made it through the cut, something like that. So all to play for really on those 2. And then in the outright bet, if you've done those, they're not close at the moment, but both Wallace and JJ Spawn have made the cut at least. So we'll see if we can get a bit of progress and they get a bit closer. But they're about 5 or 6 shots away from placing at the moment, so got a bit of work to do. All right, and then finally, statistical information. So here's some stuff I have prepared earlier. So starting over here, June, we finished June, £545.60 on, £566.73p back. We made a profit of June of £21.13, so a small profit. I think, to be fair, if you weren't Sky, you're probably more like break even at least. I think it wasn't the best month for kind of a general betting. There was a few little extra places that sort of nudged it over, I think. So what it does mean for the channel is we did make profit in June. So if you recall, we lost January, February, March. It was a right tough start, and then April, May, June we've made some profit. Albeit June's wasn't April or May. Overall for 2023, £2,596.10 has been wagered through the channel account, a return of £2,958.92 back, which currently means we have a profit margin for 2023 of £362.82, which is a touch off 14%, so 13.98%. That is the equivalent of 18 days stake profit. So if you say the average day stake on the channel is £20, we are 18 days stake ahead. Then the bottom figure is that overall since the channel starts, so just short of 18 months. So we started on January the 10th, 2022. So just on horse racing bets through the channel, £8,720.70 has been wagered. £11,298.98 back, and that is a profit margin of £2,578.38, which is our current running total profit percentage is 29.57%. That is the equivalent of 129 days stake. That's where we're at. I've added in here, just thought it was useful, for a bit of a recap for everybody, and if you're new, just to kind of put nice context here. So we started off the year really, really tough, and for those of you who've been around the whole of this year, you'll recall I was spitting feathers on a couple of occasions, because there was a couple of occasions when I didn't make a video, one because it was a non-video day and one because I was on holiday. And I know if I'd made a video on the channel, those stats were going to look a bit different, but I didn't, and that's where we were. So we got to the 16th of April missing any big days completely. So at the 16th of April, we were looking very, very grim for the year at minus £270. So that is the equivalent of 13 and a half day stake. It wasn't looking great. But in the last 2.5 months, we've made a profit margin of £633, which basically gives us where we're at here now. So yeah, big turnaround. I appreciate a lot of people would have lost faith when we went on that right downward turn. But yeah, the last 2.5 months, if you just took it just on that, so if you've only been around for a few months, then you should hopefully be nicely ahead from following the channel. If you've been around for the whole year, that's where we stand. And clearly, since we started, it's there. And so if you've been in more than 6 months but less than 18 months, you'll be somewhere between that figure and that figure, hopefully. All right. That are those. All right. And then at some point next week, when I'm back on Tuesday as well, I'm going to see if I can get a few other figures and stuff together that I haven't had a chance to do today. So I'll have a look at some other figures to share with you kind of at the halfway stage on the Tuesday night video. But that is me. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you are doing. As I said, I will hopefully be back with some form of video on Sunday lunchtime. But I'm not going to promise, but I'll update you. I promise to update you. I don't promise to do the video. All right. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.